What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
JamesShoe.com.
And today
is a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday, and it's probably one of the most, depending on who you ask, the most anticipated film of the year. We are about to close out something that's basically been a part of Peter Jackson for 2 decades.
Yep.
Not Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Well, Middle Earth.
Middle Earth in general.
Peter Jackson brought Middle Earth to the world with the very first Lord of the Rings film was in 2001. I think 2001, 2002. I'm not really sure off the top of my head now. But I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. Hobbit started. The Hobbit was about 2 years back. Was when we first met each other. One of our first premieres we did. And now we are coming to the conclusion.
Part 2, The Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah, Desolation of Smaug.
And then now The Hobbit, there and back again, renamed
The Battle of the Five Armies.
It's gonna be epic. Everyone knows it.
Box office wise, it's going to be huge. I think it's that time of the year. You know, in this screening, I mean, we had people dressed up in night outfits and clinking and clacking because they had armor on.
Clinking and clacking.
Clinking and clacking. What was your expectation going into this movie? Do you like the 2 Hobbit films? Are you a Middle-earth fanatic?
I am not a Middle-earth fanatic. The Lord of the Rings was what it was. There's nothing wrong with these films. There's nothing wrong with them. The Twin Tower, not Twin Towers.
Two Towers.
The 2 Towers, that was good. And then Return of the King. Depending on who you ask, some people say it's because it's the highest critic-rated film, highest grossing, most Oscar win. So depending on who we ask, with those 3 facts in mind, one of the greatest films ever put together in the history of film.
Yeah,
in all aspects.
It is tied with 2 other films for most Academy Award nominations.
And the critic rating and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very high-claimed film. However, the Hobbit series has not been nearly as successful.
No, it hasn't.
Though, I mean, it's still...
But you can't call 800 million
unsuccessful.
Everything.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? How you can even say that. The 2 films have done over $1.5 billion or $2 billion, and people are saying, you know, they're just not doing well.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing.
It's insane.
The standard that he built.
But what he built, exactly.
Peter Jackson.
So it all kind of goes back to, what did you like the first film, second film better? How did you feel about the first 2 Hobbit films?
They were just okay again for me.
Okay,
there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're just not. And I fell asleep in. I'm sorry. I fell asleep in Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug.
Yeah, I fell asleep for a little bit. And I woke up and then I ended in.
Well, this week, you know, while I was writing the review and everything, I was talking to a lot of fans of Peter Jackson and the whole Middle Earth thing, and a lot of people have told me that they believe the movie went from good to better, and they think it's going to be going at an incline. I still think, however, The Incredible Journey was my favorite Hobbit film up to date, though Desolation of Smaug was really, really good. You know, I think the character of Smaug is great.
I think you just like Cumberbatch.
I love Cumberbatch.
You're gonna say that.
But I mean, he has that voice, man, that could just, you know, irk you. You know, but to me, I was going in kind of more of a decline. But this film is going to hope, you know, everyone's like, oh, this is it. This is the Return of the King for the Hobbit series. You know, this is where the big battle's happening. I think it's about a 45 to 50-minute sequence of just pure action.
Crazy.
Which is insane.
That's going to be fun.
That could either,
hopefully.
I mean, I think the thing is, no matter how this movie's going to turn out, though, they're going to be those people that want to see that 45 minutes, and they're going to love it no matter what. But to be honest, I'm not super excited. I'm not holding my breath for the new film. That's going to be 2.5 hours, I think, luckily, which is not too long, kind of average this year. But I'm also not going to be disappointed, I'm sure.
You know, exciting, something that I'm actually look forward to is Peter Jackson at the end of the Lord of the Rings series. They were asked, the interviewers were like, oh, so, you know, are we going to come back to Middle Earth? And he's like, you know, I dedicated a decade of my life. I want to do other films. I'm done with this.
Yes.
And then when you have a dump truck full of money come to your house asking for more, it's hard to say no.
Yes.
And then originally it was supposed to be Guillermo del Toro that was supposed to do these films. Then he couldn't do his scheduling conflicts, Pacific Rim. And then Peter Jackson said, you know what, this is my baby. I'm coming back in, baby. Got bam, bam. And then now he did them, and then he was just asked recently, will you do this again? Yeah. And this time he did not say no, he said you never know.
Yeah.
And
I would just argue that I don't think no matter what happens, I don't think Peter Jackson will ever fully stay away from the Middle Earth franchise. I don't think it makes sense financially, you know, from a working perspective. That is his profile, you know, I mean, and that is his Star Wars, that is George Lucas, that is what he's going to be remembered for. And so far, no one has said, oh, this guy he needs to get someone else to direct these movies. Like,
No,
he needs to take
no
a break.
one has.
So I mean, the man's
Which is
obviously-
impressive
yeah,
for
which
6
is
films.
Very, very impressive.
Another interesting too. Sorry, is so Lord of the Rings. I guess when Warner Brothers New Line Cinema they bought the rights to this film, the Tolkien family, they still don't get any residuals off that, and they don't get residuals off Hobbit either. So there are more stories, and so supposedly Kevin Sujihara, the president of the big dog behind Warner Brothers, is gonna come up with that dump truck full of money finally to the Tolkien family and say, hey, dude, okay, look. Because they've invested so much money in these sets,
Absolutely.
and you don't tear these sets down either. So you either use them or they just stay there.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about this.
And then you'll also have more things coming out now. Now that we're at a time where more people want to be accessed and be a part of something. We have a recent video game release called The Shadows of Mordor, I believe, and it's a game. I don't know. I don't play video games, but it is a game based on Middle Earth. And it also is a storyline. Gollum is a part of the game. So
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I heard there was a game called Shadows of Mordor, and Samantha was playing
in the world of Middle Earth.
Yeah, and Samantha's playing it, and she's following Gollum, and I was like, whoa. But I mean, again,
Really?
because I'm not a video game player, so yeah. But yeah, that's true. But I mean, this is just another branch of them to create television series, to create other things. This can keep going if they wanted it to. But anyway, this is the conclusion, at least for the Hobbit franchise right now.
Yes. So we'll be back in 2.5 hours. We're gonna throw down shop. We're gonna see how the movie is. I'm gonna get a big old Coke so I can stay awake.
Then you might have to go to the restroom midway.
And let's do it.
See ya.
Okay, so we just got out of The Hobbit, there and back again, renamed the Battle of the 5 Armies. I will go first.
Of course.
Wow, man. That last 45 minutes, epic. Orlando Bloom as Legolas again, man. Doing what he does. Freaking acting like Link from Zelda. Just saying. Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was really, for me, this one was definitely the best one. I don't know if it was because of the action scenes. And the first one of the Hobbit series, that first 45 minutes was like, for me, but I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really, really cool. I thought Legolas was
Legolas.
Thank you. The Lego guy, I thought he was awesome. And the ending battle scene, I thought that was really cool. It was beautiful. And again, man, Peter Jackson, man, when it comes to this Middle Earth stuff, he knows what he's doing. And then once that dump truck comes up to the Tolkien family, then back to they're gonna make more, man. It's gonna be hard for them to say no to this. I think people are gonna enjoy this one. I think the momentum's gonna carry through. People like Smaug, the beginning with him, the first 15 minutes that we had with him, that was cool. Yeah, I dug it, man.
Well, this is probably one of the first times that me and James in quite a while have kind of disagreed. Though I do like this movie and appreciate this film, this is actually my least favorite of the franchise. But I will say, speaking on the 15 minutes we have with Smaug, I think is the best part of the entire film. I think that very intro sequence was the action sequence that I think really, really worked. I felt, it was very tense. There's an incredible moment of how this man has to deliver this arrow into this dragon's
that was
heart,
epic.
and it is very tense and very just awesome. And I will say though, the number one thing about this movie that I did enjoy was Thorin. I think his story, his arc, his change was what kept me interested in this movie. The fact that he has now taken over this castle, and he's looking for the stone, Arkman stone, I believe it is, or something along those lines. But he is looking for this stone, and it is changing him as a person. He will do anything to find the stone, even if it means causing a giant war. I think it is, and watching him betray these people that has followed him and considered him a leader for so long and a friend, I think that was the best part of the film. Now, the 45-minute action sequence, like I said before, is going to be for those people who want to see that action sequence. To me, it got old quick. I was very, visually everything was, crazy and fun, and there were some really awesome moments. But the reason why I liked the first Hobbit was because there were some really great interactions, especially with the Hobbit and Gollum. In the second film, I really appreciated the interactions between Smaug and the Hobbit. This film, I didn't really feel like there was that really great interaction between any of the characters. We were just kind of all leading up to the battle. For me, I didn't feel like it was a very great conclusion. I think people will be satisfied, though. I think but going in this movie probably was my least favorite of the trilogy.
I have nothing to even argue about because I didn't really care for. Nothing wrong with the films. Just it's not made for me.
And that's putting aside all the fact that we have these amazing visuals, that we have absolutely stunning special effects.
Beautiful.
The things that Peter Jackson has been able to do with this whole entire franchise.
Can't take it away.
He cannot take it away. That's why I'm saying this film is a well-made film, but unfortunately, I think this was his weakest execution.
You know what? That's the beautiful part about film. Subjective, and you don't have to agree with me or him. ChaseandCinema.com/
The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies.
that way you can read on the full-on death. Who's writing that?
I am writing
Jacob Toronto. You can see that. Check that out. Facebook and Twitter.
which is my first Hobbit review, because Louis has usually written the other two Hobbit films.
Louis Vuitton himself.
So see if we differ in opinion.
And today's Tuesday.
Yes, we'll be back in 2
48
days.
hours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be back at this freaking junk hole of theater.
4. Wild,
I enjoy this place.
starring Reese Witherspoon.
Boom.
Foxcatcher.
Boom.
The movie that we've been dying for since
Really
November.
want to see Foxcatcher.
Starring Stephen
Is
Carell
this
and Channing
theater
Tatum.
again, Foxcatcher?
This will be here on the 19th.
I'm watching that on Thursday. Annie.
Annie, thank you. I was
Night at the
losing
Museum
track.
2?
And Night at Museum 3.
3. Ron Williams. One of his last
One
before
of
the.
his second last film.
Sorry, that was bad.
That was bad.
I shouldn't have said that. And I'm not editing the video either. Woo!
Yeah, definitely his second last film. So I think that's gonna be an emotional maybe, but we'll be back here. And then following that, 1 week later, we have 5 other major motion pictures. We have The Imitation Game. We have
Keira
Selma,
Knightley.
We have Selma.
High review, 97% Rotten Tomatoes. Just throwing that out there, just so you know. By the way,
We have I don't remember The Interview.
The Interview.
Unbroken.
Hey, these Sony hack people,
Yes,
man.
this is getting big.
It's like they're saying on Christmas they're gonna give everyone a Christmas gift. They said that anyone who even goes to see this film, get ready for the equivalent
If
of like
you
a 9/11
even live next
thing.
to the theater, you know you might want to be out of the house because something might happen.
That's scary, man.
It's quite scary.
Like these people, like.
And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen Interview yet, but I'm going to one of the first, press screenings, and I'm kind of a little bit nerve-wracking about it. But I hear security's going to be through the roof. But at the same time, if anything, this might. Though I know there was a series, a chain of theaters. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. That has 257 theaters across the entire nation who already pulled the movie. Later this evening,
Is that true?
Later this evening, Sony came out and said if any theaters want to pull the movie, we're okay with that. We won't do anything about it. And one of the more popular, though I don't believe it's in Vegas or even in Nevada, chain of theaters already pulled The Interview out of all their theaters.
And they won't even play it at all.
They're not. They won't
I
be
didn't
playing
know
that
that.
movie. So either
No, but these threats are just.
it's going to be very interesting to see where this turns out, because we still have a week and a half before Christmas, and these emails and hacks releasing of the hacks do not seem like they're coming to an end. So I'm very interested to see if even The Interview will be out on Christmas.
You think that it will be uphold?
I think if something happens, where it gets to the point where someone feels in danger of life, someone will have no option.
But
except
just
to
pull
pull.
themselves. Really?
I mean, well, you don't want to be responsible. You don't want to.
No.
Especially. Granted, we're never. It's tough because it goes back to the thing where we're not supposed to compromise the terrorism, but at the same time, you don't want innocent people's lives lost.
You know what's crazy too? Let's say if someone were to get hurt, if something does happen on Christmas, the people who win, people are gonna say, well, duh, you knew that was gonna happen. They warned you. Yeah, it's scary.
Well, I think until today, it seems like no one was really taking these threats serious. We also know that James Franco and Seth Rogen have totally pulled themselves away from the picture until the release, and probably till January. They won't be doing any more media coverage on the film. They won't be talking about the movie. They don't want to be around it, and so obviously their publicists and managers feel like that's probably the best thing for them. So it kind of says a lot about who's really getting their hands in this mess, and the way Sony is, the way that we're releasing films that might not be out yet, emails, I don't know. Would it be smarter for Sony to just kind of bite the bullet on this film and,
how much this one actually couldn't have been too much.
It comes down to if it starts affecting employees. Then you have to look at yourself as a company and say, do I want my employees to get hurt and their possibly families to get hurt because they were threatened as well.
Self-securities.
Because they said your families will be hurt as well. Is that worth the choice of the movie? But at the same time, you don't want to back down terrorism. So honestly, I don't know. I'm not a political type, but I do know that this is going to be the most talked about movie of the year.
We just love film.
Absolutely.
That's all we just want to watch movies.
I know.
Holy moly. Okay.
Now I'm going to go to the theater and get scriptures to go see this movie.
We'll be back in 2 days.
2 days.
Sorry, 2 days. The Foxcatcher.
Annie.
Woo!
You got some real opposite movies. You have a girl singing about the sun and tomorrow, then you have Foxcatcher, which is pretty dreary.
I'm watching that one.
Oh, you should be excited.
I'm jacked. Channing Tatum. Not getting naked for Magic Mike. We got Steve Carell.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Just saying. Keep your eye on Mark.
Man, I love ruffled chips too. Let's do this. We'll be back.
Yeah?
Film Lovers website.
ChasingCinema.com.
Film Lovers website.
Yes.